At the markets today, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right, and it's a negative start to the trading day here in Europe. The big mover, though, on the markets is the French nuclear group Areva. Its shares down 19% in trading in Paris today. This after the company announced that its earning forecast would be cut for the next 2 years because of a lacklustre performance in the European nuclear market. They've also announced delays to their new generation Finnish nuclear reactor. That cost and the delay on that has spiralled and really causing huge problems for the companies. Their shares, a massive mover on the CAC 40 in Paris today. Frankfurt's DAX just managing to eke out some weak gains at the start of trading there.
US next. A vote over a very controversial pipeline project.
Yeah, the US Senate has rejected the Keystone XL project, a pipeline to carry crude oil from Alberta in Canada to refineries in Texas and Nebraska. The bill was just one vote shy of the 60 needed. The $7 billion project divided opinion because of environmental concerns over the oil that was being extracted from oil sands. But supporters say it would have brought economic benefits to both the US and Canada. It's expected the bill will be retabled next year when the new Republican-dominated Senate is convened. Here's the current Senate Minority Leader, MITCH McConnell.
This will be an early item on the agenda in the next Congress, and I'm very confident that Senator Hovind's bill will succeed and we'll be able to get it down to the President.
Another story from France for you now. The government, they're trying to crack down on massive pensions paid to executives. I was just looking at the figures. They're incredible, aren't they?
There are really huge numbers involved in this. This has come from the French economy minister, who wants to ban so-called top-up pension plans after public outcry over the golden retirement plans, which benefit some 200,000 people in France. Among them, the former boss of France Telecom, who's getting an additional €346,000 a year on top of his public and private pensions. Here's Luke Schrager with more.
Top-up pensions for top-level staff at French firms. A handout too far for Economy Minister Emmanuel Macron.
We need a harder line. Regarding the tax system, we increase taxation on top-up pensions up to 70%. Given the context we're discussing, we need to go much further.
A regular bonus payment companies add to existing pensions, the concept's not a new one and sparked hostility after levels for senior directors spiralled. Former directors of firms Carrefour and Vivendi were granted some €1.2 million several years ago, before either turning it down amid public outcry or seeing the payout cancelled through legal means. As the financial crisis bit, authorities took a dim view, but backed off with promises of self-regulation from French companies. Now, former France Telecom CEO Didier Lombard's walked away with over €340,000 a year, with GDF Suez chief Gérard Mestrallet looking at €800,000 a year when he steps down. The recommended limit for top-up pensions is 45% of the final salary, but it's at the company's discretion. Moreover, only 200,000 people in France see such payouts, the majority of whom receive less than €2,000 a year.
Let's take a quick look now at some of today's companies' news. And French prosecutors are said to have opened a preliminary inquiry into suspected insider trading at BNP Paribas. Reports in various media says the inquiry is focusing on whether senior figures at the bank knew of the risk from US litigation when they sold shares last year. BNP Paribas was fined $8.9 billion by American regulators for breaching sanctions in June. Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi is to pay $315 million to settle claims that it misled US regulators over its handling of transactions with countries under embargo. The payment to the New York banking regulator is in addition to a $250 million settlement with the city's Department of Financial Services last year. And Britain's Royal Mail has warned that its parcel business is being hit by Amazon's new delivery network. It says the UK parcels market will grow by up to 2% less per year as a result. First half operating profit at the firm was down 21%. Shares in the company, though, up 1.5% in London today.
Now, finally, do you like being dazzled? This is one for you. Visitors to New York's Times Square may find themselves dazzled. It's by the newest addition to the landmark.
It's the biggest and most expensive digital billboard in the world, we're told. It's in Times Square. It was lit up for the first time on Tuesday night. It's 8 stories tall.
Oh, my goodness.
And nearly as
8?
long as a football field. So it covers a whole block between 45th and 46th Street in New York, if you're familiar with the city. Advertising in this space costs $2.5 million a week. Unsurprisingly, because some 300,000 people pass through Times Square every day. And it's currently showing a digital art exhibition for its first week. Google is going to be the first paying tenant of the advertising space from next year. And as one advertising executive put it, size matters in Times Square.
It certainly does.
They'll definitely be able to get noticed.
I suppose it's in the right place, Times Square. You can't get much better than that. Impressive stuff. Good to see it. Thank you, Stephen. Can have a look at what's grabbing the headlines in the papers now. Of course, the international